hey, what's going on? Say last week we started a new exercise on the Facebook ClackFit Awesome Body Nutrition and Habit Community. It's a lot of words, but we did an exercise and some of us did it really well. Others of us kind of missed the boat entirely. So I want to go over it real quick so we can get the most out of it. This will be very, very powerful if we're able to do this week after week, and you're going to see some cool things happen. But what that exercise is we're going to do two things. One, mention one thing that we did well as a habit that we solidified, or an action that we did on our way to our awesome body and being our best self physically. And one thing that we learned, so a lesson we took away. Now, I need to give a quick shout out, Coach Stevo, Habitry Collective, San Francisco. We took this from his awesome group and group of motivators, and it's going to help us for our specific goals. Let me give you an example of how this works. So, one thing that you did well, if you have big goals for your body and you're in the process of trying to make visible changes, that's going to mean adding on new behaviors. Now, some of us are in a life circumstance, we might just be taking punches right now. And a victory is simply looking back at the things that are already in place, which are serving us well, that we're just holding on to. And that's the cool thing about habits, that when they're in place, they're like the scaffolding, that even when life just keeps going bam, 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 and you're like, oh God, please stop. But you still have this minimum standard that you wouldn't have otherwise had. You would have just went under your covers and just got a thing of bonbons and, no workouts, nothing. So I want you to be honest with yourself. If you're in that transformation phase and you want to make serious changes, well, let's build new habits in addition to that framework and that skeleton that you have in place. But if you're just going through a rough patch, you still have to identify one positive thing. So that's a thing that you are doing that is serving you in your awesome body goal. Number two is a lesson. So this can't be, one of the examples was, I learned that stress kills. Well, that's not a personal lesson. That's like saying, I learned that getting punched in the face hurts. Not, I learned to duck, or I learned that once I get punched, the sting starts to fade away, or some new perspective or some lesson that you took away. Because yes, stressors are not fun, but our response to them as humans is radically different, and it's something that we can actually improve over time, and we can develop new perspectives and become more resilient. And unfortunately, the only way to become more resilient is in proportion to the stressor. So the harder the stressor, of course, the more that it sucks for you, but at the same time, it's the bigger the opportunity. You have a chance to become more resilient than anyone else who's not facing quite severe a stressor. So we want to make sure that through our challenges and our failures that we do, in fact, take a lesson from it. Okay, that's it for now. I'll see you Monday. Again, two things we're going to ask for you. One thing you did well, one thing that you took a lesson from coming out of a slip up or a failure. Peace.